Good morning, everybody. I want to sing a little song. I need to give you guys a free daily coaching song, so maybe that's something that I'm going to work on today. Um, and say maybe next week we can have a little free daily coaching like freedailycoaching.com, the place you go in the morning to get your hash browns. Hashtag. Uh, I don't know what the song will be, guys, but we'll make up a little song. So today, good morning and welcome to everyone that's here on freedailycoaching.com. This is a place that you can come every single Monday through Friday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We're not company specific, so we're not typed to or tagged to Juicy Juice or Super Fit or lose as much weight as a small child. None of those programs. We're not part of any of those things. But what we are a part of is we're a part of a community. We're a part of a group of online networkers, a group of marketers that are using social media and the online backbone as our marketing platform. So some people are having home parties. Some people are using the 3-foot rule, which are great rules, and they're great techniques to build your network marketing business, to build your home-based business. Well, we're doing that exact same method. The only difference, that only 1 degree of difference, that shifting from head-on and talking to you in the supermarket, because I will talk to you in the supermarket, especially if you're buying some yummy food that I like. I will probably ask you where you got it, because then I'll want to go get some. That same method of talking to people, that 3-foot rule, can be used here in social media. And it can be used in Facebook and Google Plus and the Twitter and a lot of different things. I've been eating a lot. Look at this I just noticed I got a little something here. This is what happens when you do free daily coaching every day, guys. You get a little puffy.
You're starting to look like the chickens.
Like the chickens I am. I'm starting to get a little chicken neck. I'm going to have to do some more exercise. So, guys, these methods that we're teaching here at Free Daily Coaching can be used no matter what you're doing. Whether you're in direct sales, whether you're selling a high-ticket item, maybe you're an affiliate, maybe you're building a network marketing company. Whatever that looks like for you, the skill sets that we're going to show you are applicable across the board. Now, last week I happened to be on the road. I was traveling, and I was lucky enough to have Felicia Mupo come on board and really step up. Now, a few people have taken some guest hosting spots here at Free Daily Coaching, but Felicia really stepped it up and said, hey, I want to have a full day, a regular day. And so Wednesdays is going to be that day. But last week, when I was gone, Felicia did a Tech Tip Tuesday, and she covered some stuff on email. And I know this is a hot topic, okay? So she discussed some things with some of you that were here. Now, if you weren't here last week, that's really simple. Just go to YouTube, look me up, go to Burt Bledsoe. Oh, actually, you're going to go to YouTube and go find Felicia. Go find Felicia Mupo and go back about a week, right? And go back to the 12th of August. Find that webinar. Okay, find that webinar. Watch it. So it's going to be it's going to be a half hour or less, guys. Watch that. Then you can come back and watch today's as well. Today's replay is going to be up on youtube.com/Burt Bledsoe. It will be on my channel, so you'll be able to see the second half. So why am I prefacing that? And why am I telling you? I'm not telling you to go back to last week because I want you to go to Felicia's channel and subscribe. Now, if you decide to do that, that's a great idea because she's going to be having tips here on Free Daily Coaching as well as her own video marketing where you may pick up some tips, okay? The point isn't to promote Felicia and say, hey, go to do this. The point is for you not to be lost. The point is for you to see the whole picture. So if she starts talking XYZ R45Q and you don't know what the heck that means, go back and watch last week's video, right? Then all of a sudden you'll know XRZ45Q means TR714. And you'll totally know what that means if you have all of the information. So this morning, instead of me just rambling, instead of me showing you guys something different, we're going to continue what we did last week. Okay, so Felicia's going to take over. She's going to show you what she promised us she's going to show you. And I want you guys to all know, and I want Felicia to know this. I know, Felicia, you're going to do some segmenting and doing some stuff. I want to make an announcement because this is important. And I'm doing this mostly for you, Christina. This is for you, Christina. That was like in my Elvis voice. This is for you, Christina. That's not even like, I don't even know what hey, Christina, this one's for you. We're going to win that race. Lemonade, that cool, refreshing drink. Aweber, if you're using Aweber, okay, if you had an account and you had been using Aweber, there's a possibility that you made your own individual, unique list names. They used to be totally unique to every single user. If that was the case and you still have one of those, you can send people directly to that list. Okay, for example, I have one that's a Bert B list, B-E-R-T and then B. You can send emails directly to that list because it's like grandfathered. It's one of those old lists. The new list, the new system, when you set up a list, even though you might name it something fun like Felicia's weekly webinar list. Let's say that she has a list created for her weekly webinar, so she calls it weekly webinar list, okay? You can now not send a direct email to the name weekly webinar list at aweber.com to Felicia. I'm not sure why, but Aweber now changed it. Now, they still give you a unique ID. It's going to be something to the effect of AW list TR14Q. See, that's a rehash. That's called rehash. I'm bringing back the TR14Q from earlier. You see that, Felicia? I'm showing you that one was for you, Felicia. That's called a rehash, right? Where you grab something from before and you bring it back. It's comedians do it all the time, right? Where you tell a joke in the beginning about how you have skinny chicken legs, and then at the end you make a chicken leg joke again, and everyone remembers because it was from the beginning. But you only do it if it worked in the beginning, right? If you do TR14QX5 and it doesn't fly, don't do the rehash. So the reason I'm telling you guys this about the Aweber list is because it will look funky. Now, I'm not saying you cannot do it, and I'm actually going to make an addendum to the biz card to show you guys still how you can do an e-biz card with this process, okay, and make it super simple for you. So I'm still going to show you that, and maybe we'll do that next week, but I wanted you guys to know that it's just going to give you a list. So you could do the same thing. It would just be weird because you'd have to say, hey, Felicia, send me an email, blank email to awlist587439. And goodness gracious, if they accidentally on their phone push a 4 instead of a 3, or a 3 instead of a 2, or vice versa, guess what? Lost in space, okay? So that's my little tip, guys. I wanted to fill you in because I use Aweber, and I know that there was some controversy on that, so that's that part of it. Felicia is going to teach you guys some segmentation, I believe, and some ways to kind of manipulate the lists. Is that correct, Felicia?
It is, and I want to kind of echo what you said there about keeping up with some of this stuff. Now, fortunately, last week we didn't even get to the Aweber stuff last week. So if you missed last week or part of last week, hopefully you won't be lost. But one thing that I want to really stress is that you don't take this bit of information that I'm going to share this morning and get too bogged down in it. If you are at this point where you've got lists and you're regularly emailing your list already, and you're setting up, different lists for different reasons, and you want to segment those, then great. But if you're not to that point, if you're not to the point where you're already generating a consistent 5 to 10 leads a day online, that you've got lists and people that are good open rates for the messages that you're already sending, good click-through rates, and all that, don't worry about this quite yet. It's not something that's absolutely necessary. This is just kind of a little cherry on top of the whipped cream with the sprinkles, with the ice cream and the sauce kind of thing. So want to make sure that everybody realizes that. I know when we talked about it briefly last week, a lot of people wanted to see it, and I'm happy to share it, but want to make sure we don't get anybody bogged down. All right, I'm going to go ahead and go into screen share. Bert, let me know when you see it.
I will. Hey, can I tell you another fun thing while you're screen sharing?
Go for it.
I talked to you guys this week about first dibs and getting dibs and you guys connecting, so I want to remind everyone today to get plugged in over at the the webinar today at 3 p.m. Eastern. But the fun thing about First Dibs is, Felicia, you know this. Some people know that, I do some small affiliate work, like with AWeber, right? You can make a little affiliate commission. Well, my hosting service, the actual hosting service that I use for my blog, I love it. Their tech service is great, but the affiliate part of it is just not very good. I literally got a private rep that just emailed me this morning. Check this out. In addition, he raised the amount of commissions I make per sale, which then lets me actually gain my affiliate monies earlier. And they actually, HostGator reached out to me to say, hey, how can we help you promote? So I just wanted to let you guys know and show you guys that as you keep building and as you keep doing this, it compiles and it expands. So I just wanted to share that while you were screen sharing. I can absolutely see everything you're doing. Felicia, I'm going to put it on your screen. Okay. So that all we see is your screen. So when you talk, we'll only see you. So they're only seeing you now, not me. So go ahead.
Cool. Well, that's cool information. That's really, really exciting for all those that are working towards that. Okay, so I just logged in to AWeber in this case, and if you look up here, I've got several different lists going. And the reason why I found this and what we're going to cover is to be able to automate some of your list, because what was happening, and I learned this from Adam Chandler, because he hosts a lot of webinars. And he was doing the same thing that I was doing here, where every single week you've got a different autoresponder series for a webinar. And this may be just the case for different lists or different campaigns that you're running, because you want to give those people some specific information, maybe the recording of your webinar or some special promotion that you're not going to give to everybody else. So you need to filter them into a separate list. But here's the deal. If you start thinking long term, not just right now, I mean, keep it in mind, I've only been doing this a few months now, but let's look a year, 2 years, 5 years, and if it continues along this pace with 2 or 3 webinars every single month for 2 years, I'm going to have a bazillion different lists here to communicate with, and if I accidentally start communicating with lists a little separately, it's going to bombard people over and over with the exact same info. So let me show you a little trick that's very simple. Once you set up your list, and I'll just choose one here that we did. You come over here to list options, go down to list automation. When you go to list automation, you can choose here to unsubscribe people to this list. So the list that I chose at the top, which is a webinar that I hosted on Twitter, that I could unsubscribe people to that list when they subscribe to, and then you come over here and say this one. So for example, I could unsubscribe people to my to the list on Twitter tips when they come over here and say they subscribe to the webinar that I'm doing this week. Now that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to do that, but you could. You can also unsubscribe people to this list when they're unsubscribing from another list. And maybe the reason why you want to do that is if you do have people on multiple lists, if they feel like they're having to unsubscribe to you several times for you to stop sending them information, it could kind of perturb them at that point. So that may be another reason. This is the one that I use mostly, though, is to subscribe to one list when they are subscribing to another list. And let me show you an example of how I've used it. I've got a list here that's called webinar training, that on webinar training, they do not get any automatic broadcast or messages when they subscribe to this list. Because what happens is every week when I host a new webinar, I set it up to automatically subscribe people to this webinar training list when they subscribe to the specific webinar that I'm hosting for that week. Then what I can do after this webinar is complete and the autoresponders and the special broadcast of the recording of that webinar have already gone out to this specific list, I can then delete this list. So the one that is designed just for the webinar that I'm hosting this week, next week I can come back and delete this entire list. What it'll do is it'll keep all of those people auto-subscribed to the list of webinar training, which they do get the regular broadcast that I do. So all the content that I have going out and all of that, they will get that information. But I can start deleting all of these lists up here and not have this filled up with 16,000 lists with each with 20 people on it. So that's it. So all it is, it's under list options, list automation. Now you can get a little fancier with this when you're at that point where you've got people that are based on open rates, based on purchasing habits, based on things like that. You can start filtering them to different lists to offer different kind of tripwires or different packages that they could possibly purchase from you. I don't recommend that at this point, probably for anybody that's on the line, because it gets really confusing. But that bit is, I feel, really helpful to not have too many lists appear. Now I'll come back off of screen share, and let me know if you've got any questions that I can clarify there. All right, we're back together. So now let me know, based on that information, is that something that you're using? Is that something that you would find helpful in the way that you're doing your business without it being confusing? And do you have any questions for me about that specific process?
Oh, do you want me to make sure? Let me open the Q&A, and there is some questions that had floated from the weeks before.
Okay.
So while I'm waiting, or if you want to check the chat, I will read some of the other questions, because some of them are I think they're all from last week. So one of the questions was about using a follow-up series, getting the global domain, but when when this person does their own follow-up series, the snippets aren't working. The global snippets, I should take off you so that you're not just nodding your head. The global snippets will only work in your custom campaigns if you actually put in the global domain fields. This is what I mean. So this is only for the person that asked this question. If you're using a custom campaign that's already created, in those custom campaigns, there's already things that are loaded in that say like percentage, let's say global signature, or global field 1, which could be your signature, percentage. So if those things aren't entered in, those global fields, like into your own custom emails, the global snippets that you put in aren't going to pop up. Hopefully that answered that question. That was kind of that was just a quickie. Tips on creating a nice blog. Bob, I personally, I believe Felicia does as well, and a bunch of people that I work with, we use Optimized Press, and it's highly customizable, and it's really easy to use. Now, if you're on my personal email list and you want more information on blog or branding your blog, there's actually a video series that I'm actually promoting right now. A friend of mine is actually launching a product in just a few days, and this is separate from Diane's thing, guys, separate from my mentor and the Guru Code. This is totally just branding and really working on your blog and doing it that way. So if that's something that you're interested in, just reach out and let me know, and I'll get you plugged into that. And let's see what this one more question, and then we'll go back to the chat. I'm guessing this is something that you talked about last week, Felicia. I'm just getting to the video marketing. So can you give? I just got this today. I'm just getting to the video marketing. So can you give an example of being creative with tags? So that was.
We did talk a little bit about that, because last week was the time when Facebook was kind of blowing up and restricting videos, closing down accounts, all of that kind of stuff. And you know, you don't want to use, and this goes across the board really in any SEO, but especially a Facebook, because of all of the flags, you don't want to be using generic terms like MLM tips or MLM secrets or things like that. Likelihood is, especially if you're fairly new in this market, you're not going to rank for that anyway. Even if you pay a ton of money for backlinks and all kinds of specialty tools, which definitely work, but I mean, those kind of terms you're probably not going to rank for years anyway. So getting creative in the terms, maybe specifically about what's covered in the video or in the article, and also the longer tail keywords. And there's a tool out there. There's also a trick where you can use quotes to check and see how popular a particular search term is within Google by putting quotation marks around it, the term or the phrase, having that pull up in Google and see what the competition is that you would be going up against to rank there.
Boom. Let's see. Let's go back to the questions. Questions and answer is open, guys, for you. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Guys, you have just a few more minutes, so if you have a question on this automation, if you have a question on how you're working your email list on the back end, ask now, right? Get these questions asked right now. This is when it's live like this. This is your opportunity to reach in and get the questions answered, and you don't have to come back. You don't have to call Felicia later. You don't have to do anything else other than reach out and ask right now. That's it. This is the time to ask, right? Listen, Felicia's busy after this, right? I'm busy. I don't have kids, so I don't have that part, but Felicia's got like a whole family, right? I just have a bunch of animals, so I pretty much, my wife takes care of that. She puts the food and the water out. I just go make sure they're not like, you know, smashing stuff up once in a while if I hear them get noisy, and that's it. I'm working, right? And I'm on the phones all day. I'm working with clients, right? Just like each of you should be doing. Each of you should be getting out there and working. So if you have questions, this is the time. You got a few more minutes, grab the Q&A, grab Felicia right now and ask her, right? Don't worry about being embarrassed. Everyone else has that same question, right? We've all had this.
The animal sounds about like the same thing with my house. I just check on them every now and then when they're smashing things up. Oh, they're yelling, I'm hungry. Fortunately, they're in California this week on vacay. But one thing I did want to let people know is I am hosting a very informal call. I mean, this is material that I've covered with y'all before, so you probably don't need it. But for a group of friends about how to upload your videos directly to Facebook, how to upload them to Facebook, how to edit them and pick the right thumbnail and things like that. I mean, I've shown y'all that already. If you need a refresher, let me know, because I'm just hosting an internal. This is not a grab your email, grab your email and start marketing to you kind of hangout. It's happening tomorrow at I believe it's at 11 o'clock Central Time, but I can let you know if you need that info.
Okay.
All right, Bert. I think the chat's pretty good here. It looks like some people grabbed what they needed for the automation. A few, one or two people knew that it existed and maybe are using it, and other people didn't know that that option was out there. So I think that the that information was covered. I don't see any other questions there. I have no idea where you're going.
I was going into the chicken house. So.
Are you fine?
We got some little baby chickens. They're just, they're just like this big, and I could hear them chirping. And one of them, there's a little hole in the fence from Goat Village to up here in the big backyard. So I wanted to check on him. I wanted to tell you guys, not too long ago, a bunch of people did a 100-day challenge, and this is a challenge that I had done before, and I promoted, so a bunch of you know that I promoted this challenge. Well, inside the challenge, there's always a challenge within the challenge. And, you know, I'm just going to be transparent with everyone. You know, I won, or I was voted as this top challenger in the first challenge, so I wasn't trying to grab the spotlight. I wasn't trying to go into this next challenge, this one that's happening right now. I was trying to have other people take that initiative, other people go out and become that star, get that super success. And, you know, there was a challenge within the challenge. So was I participating? Absolutely. Has my business increased? Absolutely. You know, I made another leadership level in my company. You have to literally double your performance from leadership level to leadership level. So during that time, I was able to do some really amazing things. But I'm going to tell you, one of the things that I'm probably the most proud of was that there's always a challenge within the challenge. And my challenge was that, you know, my wife has this little urban farming thing going, and I really wanted to start gardening and getting a little bit better. And we've had some major hailstorms and stuff, but I want to show you guys something I'm really excited about. I've got a bunch of carrots going, which is awesome. My eggplant plant. Is that a word? Eggplant plant? Is that a sentence? My eggplant plant is absolutely phenomenal, and I'll show you that. But this is what I'm really, really, really excited about, guys. If you look right down here, I don't know if you can see it, but look at this. It's my first tomato that's it's starting to turn orange. Now you can see there's a bunch of tomatoes in there, and they're all green, but that one's actually orange. And then I'll show you this thing right here, guys, is my eggplant. Look at, I don't know if you guys can see them. Can you see those eggplants, Felicia?
Yeah, I can see it.
There's like 4 there. There's like 3 on the other side. So
time for dinner.
I know. So anyways, I wanted to share that with you guys because what does that have to do with your email? It has nothing to do with email. But what it has to do with is maybe you guys weren't segmenting your email. Maybe you weren't using this email automation before. Well, guess what? Before, I wasn't growing tomatoes. Before, I wasn't growing eggplants and carrots and all these peppers, but the peppers have gotten damaged by the hail. Before I started, I wasn't doing that. Before you started using Aweber, before you started using an autoresponder, you may not have been doing that automated technique either. But when you come to a place like Free Daily Cooking, have someone like Felicia that's willing to go out and try it, that's willing to go out and learn something and do that, and then come here and show you, that's where the magic happens. That's the magic of this whole thing. So my question today to you is this. What are you going to do today? Are you going to go out and implement what Felicia taught you? It's super simple. She did it right here in front of you. You could literally go to YouTube, watch this video, go set it up on your list, and if you have any questions, you just pause the video, wait, listen to Felicia, do what she did, push pause, do what she did, go back and look what you do here, okay, push pause, and then you go do it. And I know that you can do that. Each and every one of you can do that. So thank you so much, Felicia, for showing an awesome little tip that I was a little apprehensive about, to be quite honest, guys. I was a little apprehensive that maybe it was going to be a little too complex, that maybe it's going to be a little too advanced. But Felicia broke it down. She made it super simple so that anyone could do that. So thank you so much, Felicia. And tomorrow you're going to be hosting the call.
I am.
And are you can you give us a little kind of a sneak peek on what's going on there?
Yeah, it's good. That one's going to be more motivation, mindset, and call to action direction.
Awesome.
I don't remember the details right now, but I'll get it all down into 30 minutes.
Awesome, awesome. So I want to tell everyone, I want to invite everyone, some exciting stuff going on. Someone did reach out. So here's a gig, guys. If you want more information, someone just reached out to me and said, hey, I didn't know that's what you were doing with Aweber. I want to use Aweber. So if you want that, just reach out to me today. Give me a quick call or a text, and I'll get you set up. We can plug you into that. For those that are interested in the blogging and that whole branding deal, just reach out and message me really quick. I'll jump on the phone with you and tell you what it's all about, and if it's something that you're interested, awesome. What I'm really excited about is today and tomorrow, guys, is a push for what? The Guru Code. Hash brown. So what does that mean? It means that you have the opportunity right now to get people to some webinars. I'm going to send you to today's webinar. It's at 3 p.m. Eastern. This is just a preview, guys. This is just to get some more energy, to get some more juice, to get pumped up for what's going on tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's going to be the kickoff, the launch event. This is the real deal, okay? This is the real deal. I don't care if you work with me, you work with Felicia, you're working with Bob or Christina, maybe you work with Brian, maybe you're on Clive's network marketing teams, maybe you work with Emmy or Debbie, maybe you're working with Karen up in Canada, or you're an East Coaster and you're working with Nancy, right? Maybe, I don't know, but this is what I do know. No matter what, no matter whose team, whoever referred you, if you're on an MLM team, it does not matter. If you're participating in My Lead System Pro as an affiliate, whether you're using the system or not, if you're using My Lead, or if you're an affiliate of My Lead System Pro and you're not promoting tomorrow night's webinar, you're missing out on dollar bills, okay? There's dollars that are not in your bank that are going to go to my bank account. There's dollar bills that are out there right now that are floating on the internet that are going to go into Felicia's bank. They're going to go to Nancy's. Some of them are going to just drop right down into Tom Leonard's account. Some of those dollars are going to float over to Clive. Why? Because they're promoting the event. Felicia's not selling anything tomorrow night. Felicia is not getting dressed up and wearing like feather outfit like she's going to work for like the Las Vegas strip, like, you know, with all the feather, you know what I'm talking about, with all the feathers and all that. That's not happening, guys. There is no big show production that she's doing. All she's doing is driving people to the traffic. Clive Jeffrey tomorrow is not hosting a live webinar from the boat, right? There's no boating activities going live tomorrow, and it's going to be like simulcast from, hello, this is Clive Jeffrey here, we're on the boats going crazy. That's not happening. All Clive's doing is directing the traffic to the webinar. When you can do that and direct people to the leaders that are already doing it, they already have a formula, guys. They already know the code. Okay? We're all here, right?
Mm-hmm. It works.
It must work, right? So send people there, guys, all right? And if you guys are promoting it and you want to get in on this, yesterday we were making jokes about hashtag, and we're making hash brown jokes. Today we're doing something with like hashtag. Like, someone get a shot of that really quick. I can't do camera. Can you do camera?
Oh.
I can't do a camera.
Yes, hang on. Ready? Got it? Oh, try again because it didn't take a good one.
All right. So we got a couple hashtags, and today we're doing hashtag pictures with Guru Code. So if you want to get in, guys, get in on the action, get in on the fun, and watch. Watch how this actually works. Watch how people start talking to you. Watch how people start asking you, hey, how do I get involved? Okay? Thank you again to Felicia. Super excited, guys. Tomorrow, I'm not even going to be here. Woo! Yeah.
All for Bert.
I'm not even being. I might register and just come as a guest and use a different alias. You won't even know. I'll be like Johnny Jingleheimer. You see a guy with a funny last name, might be me, just fine, right? So thank you to Felicia for this morning. Thank you in advance for guest hosting tomorrow. And I want to see each and every one of you guys this afternoon, 3 p.m., if you're available, over at the Ultimate Freedom webinar. But most of all, I want each and every one of you, I want to see you at Wednesday night, right? And I want you to have that ability to go out and start promoting and start making some extra money. Thank you guys for joining us here at freedailycoaching.com. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the next webinar.
Bye-bye.
How long do you wait before you shoot them off?
I usually count to 10.
And then you hit go? And then do you wait until they're all disappeared and then you hit stop?
I stop broadcasting once I count to 10.
I always shoot people somewhere first.
Okay.
Like, so, here, let me.
Honestly,